What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Veve Bros. I'm Grandison Crawford.
And I'm Tony, get the Omi.
Tony, get the Omi. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about what Veve is, who's the team behind it, and where it's going in the future. So you get a little more information on what exactly we are heading towards and the leading NFT collectible platform that's going to pioneer the future. That being said, let's dive in. All right, y'all, we are back. And then today we're going to be watching a little bit of an interview with David Yu, who's the CEO of Veve, and hear a little bit on his thoughts of why he came up with it, how he started as a collector, and where he sees Veve going in the future. That being said, we're just going to start the video and go on from there, all right?
I like the novelty of being introduced for once rather than being the one doing the introducing. David, are you with me? Can we get you on the screen?
Yeah, hi, Steve.
How are you, mate? I've got to say,
Doing well.
David,
I've been kept up to date what's been happening in the blockchain week by a good friend of ours, Brian Finchera. He's been updating me every 30 minutes on all the great speakers you have in this show. So yeah, it's really good to see there's live show happening now.
David, I've spoken to you once before, and then when I did the research before that, the reason, given that I curated a lot of this stuff, I got to choose who I spoke to. Very deliberately, I said I'll speak to David. So the reason for me, the value I think you bring into this conversation is you didn't just show up, right? I mean, I think the real interesting bit, and we'll find lots of these details on YouTube if you want to go looking. Yours is a hell of a backstory. You know, if I watch videos that you were a part of years ago, I could release them today as something which is relevant to the communities that you built. So take us back in time, David. Tell us how you got here. Ultimately, you could talk, I know, for half an hour. I'd very happily listen. But give me the snapshot. Give me the 10-minute version of what that backstory was.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Just going back to before the blockchain times, I've been in the gaming retail business for over 25 years. Had my own comic game, board game retail stores, operated, as a single store now. It's all around the world, got stores through mainly New Zealand here and up in Asia. And really just being involved with a lot of the brands that what brings what we call the fandom. And what really resonated me and how I got into the business of the collectible is really about the community. And similar to what we see in digital asset, crypto, and NFT today. So number one, more importantly, is that, the audience that I'm addressing in the industry I'm in, I always knew that I need to stay relevant. And I continue to see the audience into the gaming and the younger generations all about the screen time. And really to understand how we can address that audience and stay relevant in the industry I am. And 4.5 years ago, myself and my co-founder, Daniel, we got together, and by the way, I have known Dan for over 25 years. In '97, he built my first gaming website, and that's how we got together. And it was 4.5.
So David Yu has been on the scene at least since 1997 and working on Veve with Dan for at least 4 years. So it's not like Veve is some fad that's just popped up and is going to be fly by night, right? Like this is actually something that's been, they put the energy into building it. They've thought a lot of these different things out. And I mean, that's huge.
5 years ago, we met up again in Asia and we were talking about digital asset and we were intrigued with the technology around the blockchain. And obviously back in those days, every other news we hear and read about is about security, about exchange getting hacked or wallets being stolen and all the negative press around. So we thought, well, if anything does really grow into this industry, it's all about the security and the aspect around how we can protect these assets. So our first product that we produced and forte out was the secure wallet. And it's basically a piece of hardware, cold storage wallet that help you safeguard your asset. And really what we were thinking around is, well, wouldn't it be wonderful, you know, in my retail business, everything surrounding what I sell in the physical collectibles and what you see behind me in my studio is that eventually everything will be digitalized. Because right now you can see me having these collectibles because I'm sharing it with you through a Zoom. Now, wouldn't it be great if we could show it off everywhere we can in palm of our hand? And we, ever since then, with the background I have in licensing and gaming and the collectible industry, with Dan's background in technology and running his own successful business behind it, the two brains basically got together. And what we're known today is the NFT market. But 3.5 years ago, when we tried to sell this idea to publishers and studios, we almost get laughed at. And because people never thought, you know, why would anyone purchase a digital asset or a representation of a physical product?
Now hearing that, it's kind of crazy to think that anyone would laugh at what Veve is now, right? Like back then, people didn't really know what NFTs were, but the fact that like Veve NFTs mostly sell out within seconds, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's crazy for people to look back and even just a few years later see how successful whatever it is. It's like me being like, hey man, I'm gonna make the best ice cream or whatever, and then you're like, haha, nobody's gonna buy ice cream, and then later you see, oh yeah, no, I'm back ordered with that shit. Like I can't even keep it on the shelves.
But what I really believe that the collectible business, number one, is about $270 billion a year. And back in that time, we already have games like Fortnite, Minecraft. And so the young audience that we know of today is already very used to purchasing intangible assets. And we thought, well, you know, wouldn't it be great if we could build something that's one day will be what we call the interruptible market to help and to move these assets, because you got users out there spending hundreds of hours, if not thousands of dollars, that they almost want to resell them. Back in the days, you have to sell your CD key, you have to sell your password, and so on. And anyway, we kind of shelved that space because we thought that was far you know, something that we could achieve. So what we wanted to do was, back then, there was only few competitors, and we were, don't get me wrong, we were inspired by, at the time with what CryptoKitty came out, and we really understood why would people want to have this type of entertainment and this type of asset and where the gaming world is heading into. But we wanted to build something that is truly unique. So as you know of today, the app is called Veve. It's available in both Android and Apple store. So you can download it in the palm of your hand. And what we cover in our app is really, number one, our target audience is the mass market. We really believe that to get massive adoptions, you need to have an easy onboarding process. And I really do believe that, you know, if you really have to get me the mass wallet, and there's nothing wrong with all these, and getting the guest fees, getting your wallet top up, it does require a lot more skill. And then what we wanted to do was easy onboarding, and also in the vice versa, easy onboarding for the brands that we have. The Veve app today, we work with partners such as Marvel, Disney, 20th Century Fox, Lucasfilm, Pixar. I think we have Sony, MGM, CBS, Viacom, Warner DC, and many other artists in our category. And what we really build is something truly unique. Number one is Fandom. So you come into the app, and the idea is you will see all the characters in the nostalgia TV programs or gaming characters that you once know of when you grew up, all in one. And how we have been expanding this business is, number one is we sell the collectibles as the NFT, and these collectibles are sold in what we call a drop system, and we celebrate the drop system. So every week and throughout the week, we have these releases, and you need to be in the ad and be there first. So far, everything's been selling out within a second or two. And, you know, that's created a big community, you know, thinking, are these digital assets are made for just resale, or these are collectibles for people who want to enjoy the fandom. So what we really wanted to achieve in the second stage was really understand how we can get the creative economy going. And the beauty about the creative economy is really sharing that fandom, sharing that data, that image of you in social, through Instagram or your favorite social media, and get that become the talking topic. And the other important part in the Veve app is what you have seen behind me is the physical collectibles. I have them hanging on throughout my gallery. I have things sitting on the shelf. So we created an almost like a mixed reality, a 0.5 towards the metaverse. And we wanted to see if that experience is what the users and customer wants. And what we do is we have curated these, what we call defaults. Users can easily place the collectibles that they own into the fold in different dimensions, size-wise, so they can fit as much as they want. They can curate their own room. They can share the room through the images, and they can walk through it through the augmented reality mode that we have available on the mobile phones. And that really allows the fans to be engaged in walking into it. And that basically is how we really utilize the initial content of all these NFTs we have. We really wanted to produce something a lot more around utility value. So late last year, we partnered up with Disney Plus, where every NFT of the golden moment that you purchase, it gives you a subscription, either a 3 months or a 12-month subscription. We have done NFT programs with MGM Bond, with their movie releases. And in recent weeks, we also released Aston Martin DB5 in our app. And now that's taking the NFT to another level where the utility value go as far as being interactive, as well as being you're able to control and drive the car as you know of in the movie. So you can touch the lights, the machine gun comes out, you have all the gadgets inside, and basically with your remote control on the phone, you can drive it around. And that's where we really start to think, you know, where the possibility of these NFT and what really the audience and people have known as Web 3.0, and really just trying to get into that space. So Steve, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight about what we're doing, and hopefully, you know, you got some questions for me.
David, you've just described that as if it was a linear thing that you do, right? That is so not linear. You know, as you're talking, at one end of the spectrum, your fans, the fans of your platform are they're crazy. You broke our website last time. When we did NFT Fest with Rochelle and Greg, you said, I'm doing this, they crashed the website. Mate, you go, they go. So, you know, that fandom focus for me is an extraordinary thing to sort of watch.
Definitely, I think the same way. I mean, you and I got started on this channel because we were fans of Veve and found out.
Yeah.
So like the community of Veve is huge, especially because communities make or break a project. Like a project in the NFT space and things like that is only as big as its fans.
Yeah.
you know, Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, all those people have really big fan bases and people who like what they're doing. So
yeah, collectors collecting stuff, period. Like, you know, if you're big in collecting, like, I mean, even with Pokemon, I mean, Pokemon is still
right.
you know, popular because of all the fans and all the people that still watch Pokemon.
I mean, there's even regulars who come into the part-time job I have at this restaurant that come in and play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, see,
You know,
yeah, fans, man.
And it's going to be like that on Veve, where people are coming in and just going around. Like, you know, there's no reason that Veve can't have situations like a Pokemon Go where you're walking around and maybe there's a drop at a certain location. So
yeah,
fans make everything.
Is it just the fact that, I mean, you yourself are a fanboy when it comes to this sort of fandom element? Those collectibles aren't recent sort of additions. How do you tap into that? Because at the other end of the conversation, it's this brand play. I'm imagining that the mechanism for building those relationships with those brands, they're all the brands in the world people want to build relationships with, David. So, you know, they're opposite ends of the spectrum. Normally the skills you need at one are not the skills at the other. So talk to me about the fan base. They're rabid in a positive way. How is it you maintain that understanding of exactly what it is they want? Because you say it again casually, these things are selling out in a few seconds. Like the prospect that you can create a product and it sells out in seconds, and then you watch the after sort of sale chatter, which is people are desperately disappointed they missed out. Talk to me about the fans first.
Yeah, so this came with a little bit of experience what I do in the physical retail. So I want our audience to understand, and your fans and the people watching this, is that we really believe a terminology that I quite often use is the second secret. So behind any of my retail stores, I do have a gaming space. And the gaming space do take up to half of the retail shop. And you see tables and chairs. And the whole idea of that is that you have gamers that will come in, whether if it's playing trading card games, their tabletop Warhammer games.
Did you ever play like Magic the Gathering or
hey, Pokemon?
Pokemon? You went to like hobby shops and stuff?
I mean, I've seen people play at those shops. I never played physically there. I played with my friends at home, and then I used to play on. They had the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I used to go to shops. I used to play Warhammer 40K, and I would play Magic the Gathering. I didn't really ever play Pokemon. That was just something I played with my friends. But I mean, everybody was. You would be, you know, out on the playground and see people playing in the corner. It's like sitting on hard concrete playing Pokemon.
They will sit down in a sunny day, in a raining day. In 30 minutes, they will make new best friends. Why? Because they speak the same language. That terminology I use is the second secret, is really understanding, you know, what people love in the fandom. And Steve, I know I met you outside this blockchain. I think I met you possibly in gaming show. You dress up as one of the Pokemon characters. Yeah. And you know, once I know you love Pokemon, I know you have a similar interest as me, whether if you like to dress up as a Pokemon or you'd like to play the trading card game. So that second secret is very important. And then how we dive in and how we make that stickiness, it is quite important in the collectible space. And in any business, you want to make that collectible have that collectability. You want to make one less collectible than what the market is able to absorb and take in. So the control of scarcity and the beauty about the blockchain is that it allows us to control the confidence, the scarcity, the issuance, and when we'll start are very, very crucial part in our business. And obviously, making that product really sticky, making that product that people will love. And don't get me wrong, not every single item is a home run hit. Our audience basically get a good taste of it, and their appetite gets you know deeper and deeper. They want better things. And
Electra, RIP.
Our job is, as a content creator company, is that we need to fulfill that appetite from our users. And something else quite importantly is to understand the secondary market. And that's a big part in any collectible business and comic and physical toys, is that people sometimes often buy something and they go on the eBay or auction websites and look at what's trending and what's going on. And these things are very, very relevant. And what really works very well with Veve does, we help our brand partners really convey their brand messages to the audience. So we sit very close to day. We really believe that it is very relevant for the fans to the superheroes or the movie character that you see on the screen are relevant to them, and they're growing up, they're thinking, wow, that's how I want to see a Spider-Man, or that's how I want to see Batman appears next to me. So these are the sticky points, what makes Veve a true collectible app, as well as that created economy, that user-generated content, which I mentioned. It's all about having the users to able to create their own, not just fantasy, but create their own artwork. That's something that's more meaningful and become more personalized. And we see that's becoming more and more relevant, and that our target moving on as a company will be shifting more towards that as well.
So that's one end of the spectrum, David. I'm mindful I've got 5 minutes left, and this is why I said we could probably go for a long, long time. That's user experience. You nail it. And again, you're talking over things that most people can't appreciate. That user experience is so difficult to get right. We jump to the other end of the spectrum here. You mentioned a few of them: Marvel, 20th Century Fox, Pixar, Lucasfilms, Disney, Warner Brothers, NBC, Universal, Sony, CBS, Viacom. You're just showing off at this point in time, mate. I mean, those relationships, any one of them, people would flex them into rooms. How the hell do you build that suite of relationships, in this environment, given how many incentives are sort of in market? That's an extraordinary mix of businesses to be engaged with.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Just the truth to be said is that it took multiple years to build this relationship. As I mentioned in my earlier conversation, is that these brands, at the start, they didn't really understand why it would be relevant, why this creative economy or this brand and digital collectible or NFT is ever going to take off. So it was very, very hard. As we build the product out, we help and we go back. And I believe myself and Dan, we've taken over 500 plus meetings. And every time we go back, we will show them our roadmap and how we will be sticky. They ask a lot of serious questions. And Steve, so we should understand, this is a continuous movement in legislation, regulations, digital asset. Everything is, there's a lot of moving parts happening all at once. So the content creation and the licensing is only sitting in one department which we oversee. And as you know, regulators are now understanding a little bit more about crypto or NFT or digital asset around. They want to put regular frames around it. How do we protect the users, security, and so on. And even just being on the Apple App Store and getting approval in these mobile devices is always challenging. They come back with series of questions. So rest assured, these were not phone calls that you pick up last April or early on this year and go, hey, will your brand like to do some NFT with us? Certainly not. It is years of experience in working with these brands and cultivating that and understanding what message they want to convey to their audience and putting and curating a great program for that brands to be relevant to again.
So David, down to the last 2 minutes, given that you were from the future a few years ago, and I assume you live in the future now, what's the alpha for the thousands of people that are going to be watching this for us? Where are you thinking this is going? What do you think people are underappreciating at the moment? If you sort of just cast your lens forward a little bit.
And see, and really quick, and see, and I feel, man, this is why it's such a great project, and we're so grateful to be a part of this project because, like he said, you can't just be a regular person just walking up to a company or business and be like, hey, we want to make NFTs with you guys. It took years of having relationships with these brands in order for him to solidify that deal and, you know, that collaboration and relationship. And I mean, like, I can't see just any other, you know, company or people, you know, that's trying to build NFTs being able to go to these companies at this point, you know?
Yeah. I mean, especially because like right now, like maybe if they had been working at the same time as Veve to build their relationships, the companies might be like, all right, I'll just give you some, I'll give you some, let's spread it out. But now you're competing with things that are actual numbers. You're competing with Veve's statistics.
Exactly.
It's not a hypothetical or speculative thing. These companies have made thousands, if not millions of dollars off of the products that they sell. So if I were to come and say, hey, Marvel, I want to do my own NFT drops, let me do that. They would go, well, what are your numbers? And I would go, oh, I don't have them. And they'd be like, cool, we'll stick with Veve.
Yeah. And now new companies want to go with Veve. It's like, why should we work with you guys? We actually rather work with Veve.
Why would we work with you when Disney works with them?
Yeah. We're on the waiting list with these guys.
Right. And actually, I watched a comics and crypto video talking about some of the like nipping the FUD in the bud. And it was talking about how Marvel and Disney, like, they don't just give their licenses out. Like the Disney family, the Disney estate was like trying to open a museum, and Disney, the company, said you are not allowed to use the Walt Disney name as the museum.
Yep, I heard that.
Walt Disney's family wasn't even allowed to. So the fact that David Yu got the rights to create what Disney wouldn't even let Walt's family do is a huge reason to be bullish or aggressively positive, if you're not familiar with that term, on Veve. So that's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
The industry is such a fast moving speed. We're moving as fast as any blockchain can transact at the moment, 24/7, probably 40,000 transactions a second. And trust me, every one of our audience, and I'm pretty sure you're listening or watching this, you want when everything now. For us, is to ensure that we are building a fundamental for much longer term and understanding the landscape where we are navigating to.
I think that's one element of Veve versus, say, you know, HRO or Recur or even OpenSea. A lot of people talk about how fast people, you know, these other companies are doing things. And it's like, one, well, Veve is moving fast in relation to business, but also two, if moving fast means that you overlook fundamentals that are going to create future wealth and future utility.
Yeah.
Right. And grow other aspects of this business outside of just products. Because products get old, products get stale. Experiences have you going back to Disneyland every year, have you going to Six Flags all the time, have you going to the Eiffel Tower, right? The Eiffel Tower hasn't changed in years, but people go just so that they could say they went to it because it's the experience that you're building. Whereas if you just have products, you don't necessarily have an experience. You have a transaction, and transactions aren't relationships.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it.
Yeah. You don't, as far as Veve, you don't see that far in the future and then just stop seeing the future, right? It's just like, yo, we seen this 5 years ago, a few years ago, or whatever. You think we got here just to stop seeing in the future? It's like, no, we still see more in the future. And like you said, a lot of these projects, they're just like right here. Oh yeah, NFTs, just collectibles. It's like, no, that's not what we're just trying to build. We're trying to build, like you said, an experience. Like,
it's not just about finding new ways to get of helping people buy things. It's finding new ways of people to interact with each other. So
a key part in the business every day I look at, it's not just about bridging something that is very short term and you know it's going to solve a problem for 4 or 5 months. We are constantly looking at For example, give you a perfect example, is interruptible. Most of our fans want our NFT to be interruptible in different marketplaces. We are thinking way beyond that, because solving that is what the blockchain technology and all these different layers of protocol are doing. We're thinking, how can we have better utility interruptible into what the buzzword right now is the metaverse. You know, it's not just listing your product on another wallet or exchange, it's how you can utilize that product, that digital asset, in another game or another format, in different interruptible abilities. So that's where we really see the long scale is, you know, you want more utility out of it. Because the entry level into NFT is much lower than where it was about 4 years ago. If you watch a YouTube, Google it, you can mint your NFT in many platforms out there. You know, to create that content and that community and have that long lasting effect is a very key part every day how we think going forward, Steve.
David, I said I could chat. I think we'll have to start chatting more regularly as well. You've described, again, in very simple terms, complicated businesses. I think you are absolutely the embodiment of what people should look at here, because when people talk about scale, you can speak to the issue of scale, you can speak to the issue of IP rights, you can speak to the issue of commercial rights with businesses that are extraordinarily large. So I would imagine that it gives you a bit of a reason to chuckle when people tell you blockchain and crypto and digital assets aren't yet a thing. Thank you for your time, David. Very, very much appreciated, and try not to crash our websites if you can.
Man, that was good, bro.
Right. That was amazing and very, very informative. I think that a lot of people are just looking at their vaults and they're saying, all right, well, with the crash, you know, with the market dipping as far as it has in crypto and in NFTs, man, everything's dead. What's going to happen? And I think we've talked about this before, but I think that there will be a bursting of bubbles. I think that the strongest communities, and I think that the strongest IPs will win this bubble, just like anything.
For sure. And I think for a lot of people who didn't know what Veve was or Veve is, definitely know now, you know, after the video. I mean, I think he broke it down very, very precise on what he's building and what they have been building, and where he's going at in the future. Like, he touched on every section of Veve. So I'm happy that we were able to do this video. I'm happy that he shared and did a video like that, so we can you know, just get more ears and eyes on this project and how dope this project is, you know.
Right. And I mean, he didn't even get into one of the major factors, Mr. Al Khan himself, who is a huge juggernaut in the licensing community and has had massive success bringing Pokemon to the States, bringing Ninja Turtles, bringing a lot of products into the States. So that being said, if you guys want us to do a deeper dive into David Yu, type D in the comments. And if you want to see a video breaking down what Al Khan has brought in terms of licensing and collectability to the world, type in A. That being said, I'm Grandison Crawford.
I'm Tony, get the Omi.
Tony, get the Omi. Like the video, subscribe to the channel to support Veve Bros. We're the Veve Bros, and we'll see you when we're looking at you. Peace.